It was a bright spring afternoon when 7-year-old Lily Thompson's life took an unexpected turn. Lily was the youngest of 3 children in the Thompson family, a bubbly girl with curly blonde hair, freckles across her cheeks, and a constant curiosity about the world. That day, while riding her bicycle through the quiet suburban street near her home, tragedy struck. A distracted driver, failing to stop at a stop sign, collided with her at full speed. The impact was severe. Neighbors rushed out of their homes after hearing the crash, and within minutes, sirens filled the air. Her parents, Karen and David, were devastated when they got the call. As paramedics worked frantically to revive her, Lily's pulse faded. For over 10 minutes, her heart had stopped. She was clinically dead. But during those 10 minutes, something beyond the realm of earthly understanding occurred. What Lily would later describe to her family, doctors, and church community was not the hallucination of a traumatized brain or a child's imagination, but an experience so vivid, peaceful, and powerful that it would forever shape the lives of everyone who heard her testimony. This is Lily's story, the innocent yet powerful journey of a child who died and met Jesus. Leaving her body. Lily later recalled with astonishing clarity the moment she left her body. "I felt like I was floating above everything," she told her parents. "I could see my body lying on the road. People were crying. I saw the lady who hit me, and she was shaking. But I didn't feel scared at all. I felt light. Like I was being lifted." She described watching the paramedics working on her from above. Her words were precise, even though she had been clinically unconscious. One man had a blue glove that ripped, and he threw it on the ground. Another said, "We're losing her. I heard everything." Then, Lily said, everything turned bright. Not like sunlight, but something more radiant and warm. "It was like the light loved me," she said simply. She said she was being pulled through a tunnel, but unlike how movies portray it, it wasn't dark or cold. "It was like riding on a rainbow made of music," she described. "I heard songs but nobody was singing. The light sang." What came next took everyone's breath away, because it sounded like heaven itself. Entering heaven. "As soon as I got out of the tunnel, I was standing in a garden," Lily told her pastor a week after waking from her coma. "But it wasn't like any garden here on earth. The grass sang. The flowers moved like they were dancing. Everything was alive." She remembered a path of golden light and trees whose leaves glowed with colors she didn't know how to name. "There were colors I've never seen before, like blue mixed with gold and purple sparkles. And there were animals, too, but they weren't afraid. A lion walked next to a lamb." Lily also noticed something profound. Her senses were stronger. "I could see everything all at once, like I knew what was behind me without turning around. And I could feel love everywhere, like the air was made of it." The most astonishing part? "Heaven was more real than earth," she said. "I knew it wasn't a dream because it felt like I was finally awake. Earth feels like a shadow now. Heaven was the real place." Meeting Jesus. Lily's voice would always soften when she spoke about him. "I saw Jesus," she said with a glowing smile. "He came walking down the golden path, and I just knew it was him. I didn't have to ask." She described him as taller than Daddy, wearing white that shined like the sun. His eyes were kind and full of light. He smiled at me like I was his favorite person in the whole world. Jesus didn't speak with his mouth, Lily explained. He talked with his heart. I just knew what he meant, even without words. She said he took her hand and walked with her through the garden. He showed me a river that sparkled like diamonds, she recalled. And there were children playing near it, laughing and dancing. One of them told me, "Welcome home." Then, Jesus knelt down and looked Lily in the eyes. He told me that he loved me, and he had always been with me, even when I was sad or afraid. He said I had to go back, but I would never be alone. A glimpse of eternity. Lily said that Jesus showed her something amazing before she returned. He showed me a city that looked like it was made of crystal and gold, she said. There were buildings with colors that sparkled like stars, and I could hear people singing, millions of voices praising God. She said there were angels everywhere, some flying and others standing by gates. They were huge, like taller than houses, and they had swords made of light. But they weren't scary, they were kind and joyful. Then, she saw something that she would never forget, a great throne surrounded by light. I couldn't see who was sitting on it, but I knew it was God the Father. The light coming from him made me want to cry happy tears. Lily said she felt something deep in her spirit, that heaven was a place of belonging, peace, and perfect joy. Nobody was sick. Nobody was angry. Everybody was happy all the time. But Jesus then told her it wasn't time yet. The return. I didn't want to leave, Lily said through tears. I told Jesus I wanted to stay. I didn't want to go back to earth. But Jesus reassured her. He said he had a plan for me. That there were things I had to do, and people I had to tell about heaven. Suddenly, Lily said she felt herself being pulled backwards, like being sucked through the tunnel again. I saw the earth getting closer, and it looked small. Not scary, but not home. The next thing she remembered was waking up in the hospital, her mom crying beside her. I whispered, "I saw Jesus," and my mom started crying even more. Doctors were baffled. She shouldn't have survived, one said. She had no pulse for more than 10 minutes. But Lily had returned, not just with life, but with purpose. A child with a message. Lily's story spread quickly, from her church to local news outlets. She spoke with innocent conviction, never once faltering in her description of heaven or Jesus. He's real, she told the congregation during her first church visit after recovery. And he loves everyone. She began drawing what she had seen, gardens with singing flowers, rivers of light, and Jesus with glowing robes. Her pictures stirred emotion in everyone who saw them. These aren't just dreams, her father said. She's telling the truth. Lily's message was simple but powerful, heaven is real, and it's better than anything on earth. Don't be afraid of dying, just make sure you know Jesus. People began writing letters to the Thompsons, sharing how Lily's story renewed their faith, brought peace during grief, and opened their hearts to Jesus. She wasn't just a little girl anymore, she was a messenger. Faith like a child. Years later, Lily would continue sharing her story, writing a children's book and even speaking at churches across the country. Though she grew up, the wonder in her eyes never faded when she talked about heaven. Heaven is my real home, she would say. I'm just here to remind people that it's waiting for them, too. She reminded everyone that Jesus doesn't just visit the wise or the old, he reveals himself to the pure in heart, to those with childlike faith. In a world filled with doubt, skepticism, and fear of death, Lily's voice remains a beacon of hope. A 7-year-old girl's encounter with the Eternal became a testimony that outlived headlines and trends. And whenever someone would ask if she really saw heaven, she'd smile and say, Heaven was more real than earth. I just got a glimpse, but it changed everything.